Alright guys, so now that we know how to set up a simple table, I want to show you how to do a couple cool things to it, specifically how to add and delete table rows. So right now we just have something like this, and we can, sort the columns, look at all of our stuff, but what if we wanted to add a new row? Well, obviously we could do it through code, but whenever we're making an actual piece of software, we don't want to have the user, make them write some code to change it. You want to give them some cool controls to use. That is kind of the point of software. So, actually, let me get rid of. And by the way, this is nothing to do with JavaFX, but anytime you want to get rid of this gutter, you see all these tabs right here in this IDE. You can click this little button, and it'll toggle them on and off. So again, I just want to give myself some more room so you guys can see what's going on. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is this. I'm going to build a little area at the bottom here, and it's going to have three little inputs. And the first one is where you can type the name of a product, the second one the price, and the third one the quantity. And then on the right hand side, I'm going to have a button that says add, and whenever you click it, it adds whatever you typed in as a new row. And I'm also going to have a button called delete. So you can actually select one of these. For example, if you're like, alright, I don't have any toilets in my store anymore, you can select it, hit delete, and it will delete it from your spreadsheet. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so again, like I said, the first thing I'm going to have is three inputs, and those are called text fields. So I'm going to have one for the name input, price input, quantity input. Alright, now let me scroll down and I'll start building them right under the columns right here. And these are going to be really similar, and actually you already know how to make all these inputs. So name input equals new text field, name input, and what I'm going to do, instead of having a label, I'm just going to have prompt text. So inside the actual input, I'll just have a light gray bit of text, and it'll just say set prompt text, and I'll just say name, so the user actually has a little indication of what they're actually supposed to be typing in there. And an optional thing that you can do, a lot of people like to do this, is if you set the min width for each one, then I'll just put like this at 100. So right now we're just making the basic inputs, and we're going to have to add them to the layout later on. Alright, so for the price and the quantity, quantity, alright, so this would be called price input. And I'll put price right there, and quantity input, quantity right there. So again, we have our three inputs: name, price, quantity, a place so the user can type in whatever new item that they want to add to their store. And now let me just make the buttons, the add and delete buttons. Now I'm gonna pretty much set our layout up first. So I'm going to be building the user interface, and then once I have everything built and looking exactly how I want it to look, then I'm going to go and actually add the functionality to these buttons and the rest of our program. But for right now, just want to get everything built. So button, the add button is obviously just new button, and it will say add on it. And I'll make a delete button forever whenever the user wants to delete an item. Alright, so since, let me run this real quick. So since this entire layout is a VBox, in other words, if we just place items, they would appear to stack on top of each other, up and down. We want the inputs and the buttons to appear left and right, so we're going to have to make an HBox, and we'll stick it at the bottom of here. So after you start, or after you're done, and my mouse fell over. By the way, I have a vertical mouse. Go ahead and Google vertical mouse right now, and if you guys are like, how can your mouse fall over? How does a computer mouse fall over? Look at vertical mouse, and you guys will see what kind of weird mouse I'm using. Alright, So I'm just gonna make a quick HBox layout. Gonna name it HBox. Set it equal to new HBox. By the way, does this remind anyone else of HBO? It does me. When else do you see the letters HBO together instead of HBox and HBO? I don't know. By the way, did you guys ever see I think it's called Silicon Valley on HBO? It's a very good show. It's about like computer programmer nerds and stuff. Anyways, you guys are here to learn, not here to hear me talk. Alright. So we now have a horizontal layout that we can stick all of these items in. And the first thing I want to do is actually set padding. So what this is going to allow us to do, if we throw a new inset in here, we can type 4 different values: top, right, bottom, left. And this is just going to be padding around your entire layout, not the items themselves inside your layout, but it's going to give us a little bit of area so the items don't look like they're butted right up against the edge. So now we can do that, but the items within the layout are still going to be pressed up against each other. So in order to take care of that, I'll explain exactly what I'm doing whenever you guys actually see this, but set spacing equal to 10. And now for each item, for example, the inputs are going to be separated from the buttons with a padding of, or not a padding, a spacing of 10 pixels. So now we pretty much set up our layout, set up all the items. We just need to add all the items to the layout. So HBox, get children, add all, and what do we have? Name input, price input, quantity input, add button, and a delete button. And add all, adding is for one, add all is for many of them. And now all we have to do is add this entire layout to the VBox layout. Alright, so I'm going to run this and see if I messed anything up. Looking good. Alright, so this is our horizontal layout, that HBox that we just made. And again, as you can see, everything has a padding of 10 pixels, and also in between these little items right here, that has a spacing of 10. So the padding is all the way around, and the spacing is in between each individual one. And now the user can type, they'll type something like bacon. The price is like $5.99. And the quantity, they have 60 packs of bacon, and they're going to hit add, and it's going to pop up there, but we need to create that functionality, so let's do that right now.